we really need a warranty partner, because, as a dealer, that warranty I'm putting out there is not a product. It represents me and my dealership and my brand and ultimately my promise.
Very well said.
Because here's the thing, like, if something goes wrong, well, they ain't blaming the warranty company.
Really, blame you. And a lot of service contract companies forget that, like you said, the word service is in the name of the service contract company.
It's kind of like right there.
It's right there for you.
Yeah. And one thing that makes me so proud of the team, it has not changed. And we are growing, and we are a very strong company and continue to advance.
Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Drive. Today I'm in hot Las Vegas, Nevada, recording some amazing content with just some amazing people, and I got two really awesome guests with me today. I have Brian and Dom with ProGuard. Guys, thank you for coming and taking the time.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for jumping in and squeezing this nice little hot car. We're going to go for a nice hot lap down the Las Vegas Strip. Hey guys, I'm super excited about the topics that we're going to get in today. I think ProGuard, just from the company, I've always been a big admirer, and just you guys' origin story and just all the cool offerings you guys have. So I'm excited. But what I'd like to do to kick off these podcasts is I like to do a little origin story, all right? Because I'm always fascinated how someone kind of fumbles their way into the automotive industry. All right, so Dom, I'll start with you, man.
Okay.
How did you get started in this crazy world we call the automotive industry?
So I'm a third generation car guy.
Okay, so you were born into it.
I'm born into it.
All
All right. My grandfather and his brothers had a Studebaker franchise in the 50s and 60s, and when Studebaker went defunct, my grandfather and my father started a independent lot.
Yeah.
And I have 5 siblings, and we all worked there as kids. So one of my first jobs, I always tell the story that my dad gave me a stick with a nail on it, and I used to pick up the cigarette butts, and and he's former military, so it was always you crawl before you walk, and you walk before you ran. And so we learned all different aspects of the business, but so since
And you did it as a family.
we did it as a family, that's for sure.
Should there have been like a reality TV show at some point? I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
Definitely could have been. 3 boys, 3 girls, so it was always interesting. Italian family.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine what the dinners and Thanksgiving was like.
A lot of yelling. A lot of yelling.
Well, you know what? Once it's in you, it's in you, and it can definitely happen from birth. All right, Brian, for you, how did you get started in this crazy world called the automotive industry?
So I was always had a love for automobiles. Went to art school. Automobiles are an art form. Love them. We wrenched when we were kids. The Limongelli family, they wrenched when they were kids. And then, you do your thing, you go your way. And then I got into a lot of marketing for different industries. Around 2014, 15, we connected again.
Yeah.
And I came in as a rebrand consultant, sort of, and then it launched from there, and we just clicked, and we feel like I want to see the growth of the company. It was fantastic. Yeah. We have a great team of creative people, and fast forward to where we are today, and I'm happy to say I'm Chief Marketing Officer for ProGuard, and love it. We grow the brand, we love the brand, we live it. So that's how I get. There's a lot more to it, but I don't want to take the thunder. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of who ProGuard is and what we do and why we do it.
Well, you got bit by the bug, man. So you're in the business now. So there's no way of getting out. Once you're in, right?
That's 100%. 100%.
Okay, so let's get into the origin story. Like ProGuard, look, I can name many people out there in our industry recognize. I know I used your guys' solution at one of the dealerships I worked at. So, what was, I'm just curious, if I could be a fly on the wall.
Okay.
All right. Of kind of that creation date. All right. What was the aha moment? What was like, okay, there's a need and this is what we're going to go set out and here's how we're going to solve it. Like, what was that?
Okay. So I'll try to condense the story down, but this, again, father, family grew up in the business, and my father served on the Pennsylvania Dealers State Association Board.
Okay.
And, for 20 plus years. And in the 90s, there was a service contract company that wasn't fully insured and went out of business and left a lot of dealers holding the claims bag, so to speak. Now, contractually, they didn't need to pay for those repairs, but you're pre-internet, you were taking care of your customer, right? You took care of your community. And so there was a huge outcry at that time. Our dealership was affected, our family dealership. But there's a huge outcry from the association members, the dealer partners, to the association for something, some protective measures to be put in place so this sort of thing didn't happen again.
Yeah.
And my father, my uncle, and 2 other board members started a company called Guardian Warranty.
Okay.
So that was the first company in late 94, early 95. Fast forward, I joined in 2001-ish, right out of college, and they put me as the quote-unquote cleaner. So I would go to territories that had high loss ratios, and my first stint, they put me in New York City.
Okay. Nice.
Mostly Long Island and Queens, and
Okay,
so
not a tough market.
No, it wasn't a tough market.
Didn't give you any cream puff market by any means.
No. Again, former military father. He's gonna, I'm gonna earn it. And so, they also didn't tell me I wasn't getting a salary and I was on straight commission. And you don't get
family business.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so, back then, I mean, a TomTom, GPS system was like $900. So we had the big Rand McNally and we'd drive around, and they just gave me a list and they were like, go get them. And I remember the first couple of weeks, my first paycheck was cleared. I cleared $153 or something like that. And my father was one of the owners, but he wasn't my direct boss. And I went to him and I said, I'm living in New York City. You guys are paying my expenses. That's great. But I have $153 for 2 weeks of worth of work.
And I can't buy you so much pizza.
I can't even buy Tic Tacs in New York City. Okay. And so, he was a man of few words, and he just looked at me and lowered his glasses, picked them back up, lowered them again, and said, salesmen give themselves raises. So that was, in other words, like, get out of my office. I'm too busy for you right now. Get back to work. And so that's kind of the story with that. And, fast forward, a private equity group came along, and the partners wanted to retire. They were all of retirement age. And so that was 2006, and so they sold out. I was the sole family member to stay on. And we went through a couple of more corporate buyouts, and it got to the point where there was a lot of chiefs.
A lot of chiefs.
And so the things, that I used to be able to handle on my own, out on the road, now I needed to call a VP who called a VP, and maybe a week later I'd get a call back.
Sure.
All right, and in this business, time is of the essence, obviously.
100%.
Right? As you know, you worked in the car business. If you have a customer sitting in front of you, there's an extenuating circumstance.
I'm right there on the spot.
Right there, right then and there.
Yeah.
And so, I had discussions with the CEO at the time, and he told me things would change, and frankly, it never did. And so that's what sparked the thought of, ProGuard. And, my uncle was heavily involved from the beginning. He and I spoke about it, and then we talked about, getting my brothers involved, because they're still involved in the car business and different aspects. And
so getting the band back together.
Got the band back together, so to speak. Went to my father because I needed some capital, frankly. And he reminded me he's retired. But I was persuasive enough, and we got back to that family business, right? That personal touch that
Yes.
that we lost along the way.
Yeah, it does happen, right? We've seen it happen many times in our industry where companies start off at really becoming partners for the dealers, and over time and through different ownerships and partnerships and other stuff, it loses sight of.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's very, very, very much so on the warranty side. We really need a warranty partner, because as a dealer, that warranty I'm putting out there is not a product. It is it represents me and my dealership and my brand and ultimately my promise.
Very well said.
Because here's the thing, like if something goes wrong, well, they ain't blaming the warranty company.
No, they blame you.
100%. So important to find a good warranty partner. So I totally get it, why you want to be able to kind of go back and be able to create that type of culture all over.
Yeah, and that's what we did. And you know what? I'm not saying that the corporate side of things was all bad, because I feel like a perfect organization toes the line.
Yeah.
You know, you're not too far right, you're not too far left.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You need that corporate structure, right? You need that hierarchy and those sorts of things. And I believe that we've got that. And a lot of service contract companies forget that, like you said, the word service is in the name of the service contract company.
It's kind of like right there.
It's right there for you.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that makes me so proud of the team, and has not changed, and we are growing, and we are a very strong company and continue to advance. But they have a purpose, and Dominic knows that if there wasn't a purpose, you know, I wouldn't be around.
Sure.
We all have to hang our hat at the end of the day, and nor a lot of people, we all feel very good and very strong about what's going on, and that purpose to be there as a dealer partner and have the products we have and have our back. And you know, this might sound very hokey, and forgive me, but you know, transparency is part of our theme, and we live it, we breathe it. We're flexible, we live it, we breathe it, we're accessible, same thing. So it's not just words. I mean, those words, everything that we do and every message came out of doing it first and then going, hey, we're doing this.
We're also doing it from a level of operational understanding.
Correct.
Which I think is, you know, key. I mean, there are a lot of new warranty companies.
Sure.
Right? And there's definitely a lot of, you know, private equity firms and other companies out there that were kind of awakening and going, oh, wait a second, there's money to be made there. And don't get me wrong, that's great and all, but I gotta be honest with you, if they never had to spend 2 hours after closing to try to get someone approved and to find out that they couldn't even finance a hot dog, let alone a Lincoln Navigator, if they never felt that pain, I don't know. You know, I know, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, right?
Exactly,
like,
sure.
If they don't really kind of come at it from the operational understanding of what the dealer and the staff are going through, I think it makes it incredibly difficult.
If you don't live, breathe, and sleep it,
Yeah.
I don't believe you're a part of it. That's you know, you're disconnected, you're disjointed, and it's not. I mean, like Brian said, I feel like that's been, you know, the main driver for our success.
Yeah.
I really do, because we're there every day. I mean, we still have that independent lot that's running. One brother runs that. You know, we have some other dealerships, and so, I mean, I'll be at the service contract company, I'll be at ProGuard, and then I might be at the dealership just kind of sitting back and watching what are the pain points for the finance managers? What are the pain points for the managers?
100%.
How can we make this better? How can we do a better job? And so that's what our day's filled
I love
with.
the fact that you've kind of been able to straddle both sides of the fence, and you can see it from both sides as well. So I got a question for you, because I'm kind of curious.
Sure.
To kind of get your perspective on it. You know, there a lot of managers are probably watching and listening right now, and you know, and they may be just satisfied with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
They may have a partner. They may just have a product that they sell. But what do you feel like dealers should be looking at when investing not only their time and their money and their brand equity into a warranty solution?
So, a very good question, and it's like there's a lot of parts to it, a lot of moving parts to that question. All right, it's a loaded question, but
Yeah.
The first one I'll start with is for us, and you know, it's something we believe. We are all of our dealer consultants. We don't use the agent model.
Oh, okay.
So everybody is, they solely represent ProGuard. They do not, you know, represent any other company. It creates price consistency in the market, right? Because
Yes.
I'm not knocking agents. I just let's
No,
be honest. Like, you know, what's a dealer in, you know, Pennsylvania with ABC company may have a different pricing schedule than a dealer in Florida with that same
We've seen it happen.
company.
I mean,
Sure.
I know I've seen it happen.
Right.
I still spend some time consulting with dealers and auditing, you know, solutions and partner programs and stuff like that. I have 100%.
Yeah.
There's definitely a sliding scale.
Yes.
And it's a very unspoken one.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, with that comes along with, we're our people are true brand ambassadors, right?
Yes.
They've been with us. Like, they only represent ProGuard. They only live, like we said before, we live, we breathe, we sleep it. And so when you need, to Brian's point, we say we're accessible. We're a phone call away. And when a dealer needs help, we're there to answer the phone. We know the circumstances. We know there's extenuating circumstances. We know the vehicle might be outside the mileage parameters a little bit, or maybe outside the year, threshold.
So you're not talking just support. You're talking even from some like even an advisory type.
Correct. That's well said. Good, Brian.
And it drums right into where we're a resource. We're more than just a service contract company. And here's the thing, I see it every day with the employees. Like, they come to us. It is transparent. They can get to ask questions on. They can get to our VP of sales, to get to myself, and they have our numbers. And if they have an idea, I'm an open forum for creativity. You have an idea, give it to us. Don't hold it. And nothing stupid. We will digest it. And some of the greatest things and movements we've made have come out of just that.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea where we're going to go. What can we do? And all that is by the purpose of making sure we are all brand ambassadors to our dealers. Once a dealer has engaged with us and enrolled with us, and they start to write contracts, and decisions are made on their behalf to help them and help us, they have an aha moment. They have it where they go, and I've heard where our people in the field, our consultants say, they've heard it many times. Why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I do this sooner? You have to walk before you run and crawl before you walk and the whole thing. But it's really a purpose-driven, all value to a partnership, and every aspect of what they do. And I say what they do because you understand, I go back to the foundation of his father and the board members and everybody getting this. It has not changed for how much they've grown. It's that integrity. And I say it, they want to put their head down at night, and it's a clear conscience, the best pillow, and they put it down. And I know it, and I'm proud of it. Like, I had some great meetings this week, all marketing side, all marketing driven, and they come up, and the resonating theme is like, one dealer, I will not mention a name in particular, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad we can have this conversation. I'm glad I can talk to you about things that we need that are beyond the scope of what would typically be available at any other warranty country. And that's accessibility to, right here, we're here, and we can talk, and we want to hear your ideas, and we want to help you grow. And
I think that's all incredibly powerful and very valuable to the dealer. But I think what really at the core, what that actually ultimately translates out to is a great experience for the customer. Because you're there, you're in this advisory role. All right, you're not participating in the agency model. You're participating in consulting on what products and solutions that are actually appropriate and worthwhile for their business, not maybe just that agent's pocketbook. Sure. Talking about. Sure. Here's a question I want to ask you guys, because I love both of you guys. I love this, that we have two very cool perspectives on this. I am sure that you guys have seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'm not just talking about the movie, but I know you guys have seen, some dealers really, really kind of wrap their business around, the warranty, and I think they have to, right? Let's face it. Front end margins are depleting. As aging inventory comes, it is a competitive. We're making money on the warranty, and that is very true. What is some of the best practices that you guys have seen where a dealership really kind of embraces a holistic approach around bringing in a full, complete solution to the customer, not just treating the warranty as here's another add-on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe you mean
so you 100%. I agree with you. You are correct. I mean, the front end, it's hard to make money on the front. By the time you get the car or truck through the shop, what you're paying for, you're paying a premium, then you get it through the shop, and it's just super competitive. So the money has to be made somewhere else, and that's the back end, that's the repair facility. So you have to buy in to the whole package, as you said, right? So we have a lot of different incentives. Again, we're flexible in that we have a canned product, but we create a solution for a dealer because maybe this doesn't fit, maybe this does. Maybe a piece of this does, but this one really doesn't because it doesn't align with the dealer's principles or philosophies, right? Because some dealers say, I want to make as much money as I can right up front. All right. Yes. But maybe on a retro program, I want to make it long term. I don't really, I still want to make some money up front, but I need some long term. Right. I need some long term, and so we have that flexibility, and we have, I dare call it like a stacking type of method, right?
Yeah, it gives us to your point, the flexibility to take these incentives, to take these programs and customize them to what the dealer needs. And even so much as, and I hope you would get there, I probably took your words, but even like ProGuard miles, right? That's a product of ours. And that's to help control those costs on some of the back end stuff. Like not only just making revenue on the back end, but also on different, another incentive. It's a catalog of materials that is something they could tap into to reduce those expenses. So and listen, all this comes from because we're car guys. Like we get it. Like we work in it, we know it, and we know the ins and outs, and day by day they preach it. So
yeah, Brian's right. We talked about, I didn't mention it, he did the ProGuard Miles. It's a loyalty program, and it's got an expansive catalog. And just by selling service contracts through us, you earn miles as rewards. Okay?
That's cool.
And it's not you spend $500,000 and you get a $5 trinket. No. I mean,
big stuff, yeah.
We've done some crazy, and in our catalog, I mean, we've done lifts for dealers, brake lathe machines, alignment machines. We've done a lot of different things.
Really kind of
golf shirts, right, whatever, to help, save the money on their operational side.
That is cool.
Yeah, so there's...
And that's honestly, that's one of the things I'd expect from a partnership, but I mean, that's really kind of putting your money where your mouth is, right? Because some people will say, oh yeah, we're going to be your partners, but if they don't have it clearly defined, there's a program that, like, to be, I think, a good partner with a dealer, you have to be intentional, right? And that is a set, defined, intentional way that you guys show, that, hey, we're not just interested in this one aspect, we're interested in holistically seeing you succeed.
We want to see every revenue center of that dealership, whether it be, service, whatever, we want to see. We're trying to bring an additional revenue stream to every single one of those departments. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's not just like you said, hey, you need any more brochures for the service contracts? No, you're okay? All right, we'll catch you next time. Thanks. No,
actually, I like the fact you brought up brochures, all right? Because I want to get into kind of the education side of it. Yeah. Because again, this is another thing that I've seen that really kind of separates out the crowd a little bit, is how you guys kind of approach, the education. Because I consulted a lot of dealerships. I've seen a lot of F&I managers and salespeople do brochure vomit all over customers, like The Exorcist. It's flying everywhere. How do you guys kind of partner up with your dealer partners on kind of the education side?
So
can I jump in?
Yeah,
he knows I'm chopping.
I know. I have to say one thing, and I was really kicking it right to him.
Yeah.
When Brian and Lynn, joined forces with ProGuard and joined us in 15, right?
Yeah.
One of the things, one of our, had must-dos. It was the highest on our objective list. You've seen the service contract companies that write the brochures, and they're not speaking to the customer. You actually have to be an ASE certified mechanic to understand what the heck you're getting, or between all the legalese, you're confused. Yeah. And so they recognized it, and I won't steal any more of his thunder, but that was one of the first highest lists. We've had this huge objective list, but that was one of the highest priorities on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hopefully I can keep this short, because this is a very exciting topic for us. And Lynn is our amazing writer. Oh my gosh, the voice of a company, translates the thought leadership from the principal, to the written word, and speaks.
Yes.
To answer your question about how do we provide a resource. So recently, we identified we're getting a lot more feedback as dealers coming to us. who have respect for our brand and what we've done and our thought leadership, and they're asking, hey, we like your best practices. What do you do? Can you help us? Can you advise us on our messaging? And we're like, yeah, I think we'll address the low-hanging fruit with you. We're not built as an agency, but we get it. We'll do it. Let's see what we can do. That has spawned into our most recent piece as a dealer partner. Certain areas we produced a quarterly publication that speaks very acute to what's going on day to day, month to month. Yeah, we have an amazing analytics team that we pull data from, and so as a dealer partner, you don't just get, here's our brochures, here's our products. Hey, this is what's going on in the market. This is what's happening. This is what we see. These are some of the actual things we put in place to help you. You should take advantage of it. And again, it reminds them of what exists at ProGuard, what products exist that they might want to take a second look at, speak with their consultant, their sales consultant, and go, hey, I want to think about that again. So we're reminding our people and reminding the dealers, we could keep adding and changing and making our products better. And it reminds them to have that conversation and keep the communication loop open. And this is one piece, and that answers the question as far as how do we communicate, how do we let them know. It's not just a brochure. We want to educate you quarterly, and then we'll continue to do that. And listen, I say this, and please don't, we're thought leaders. I mean, we have multiple times have had our material taken from us. It's all original written content, and then we see it and we're like, well, it's like, so flattery, yes, but now we know we've hit that mark because those dealers are coming to us now. We're not forcing it upon them. They're coming to us, help us.
Well, you guys should be the resource. Again, you look, coming back to you guys being a partner, right? Like, I mean, this is what a partner does. Yeah. You guys, that's a significant investment. I know, trust me, content. Yeah. Making content and taking the time to do the analytics and put together best practices and market trends and stuff like that. Like, that's not just something that just happens. But again, I think it just goes to show commitment to that partnership. I know we're getting towards the tail end, and I really want to get just kind of into one more topic with you is on the strategy side. I'd love to kind of get both of you guys this kind of thing. Every dealership approaches this differently. What strategies have both of you guys seen that have just really been uber successful?
Can I say our strategy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the topic we spoke about today might be a good hit for that, because we're seeing a lot of reinsurance come up. Do you want to go down that road?
Yeah, sure.
We're seeing a lot of yeah.
I'll take that rabbit.
We're seeing a lot of reinsurance, and for us, we're no risk. Like it takes, and we get it. You have to test the waters, but and Dom has a bigger bite on this one than I have. But reinsurance is the thing, and that's what's come up. Like, it's almost like the flavor of the day.
Yeah.
And we want to, taking a bigger look at us with the no risk component. It's kind of where we want a bigger look at that. We want them to take a bigger look at us with regards to that mindset and that thinking.
Yeah, and what I would add to that is, you've been in the business, like we've said before. Hear these like flavor of the month, right? And so we're hearing a lot about reinsurance, and a lot of agents out there coming into many independents, as we're here with National Independent Auto Dealers Association. And I'm not knocking everybody, right? There's a place for someone everywhere, okay? There's always a place. But what they don't realize is they're signing up for, as Brian said, a lot of risk, right? You're with us, it's absolutely no risk. We have an incentive program that works just like a reinsurance program. And you know what? If it loses, you get to walk away and we take all the lumps. And with the reinsurance, the dealers sign up for these reinsurance plans. And yes, it looks great on paper because, hey, I have X amount of money in this account. But you have to, it's regulated.
Regulated, and there's a risk associated with it.
Correct.
And
you may need an injection of cash. And the last 2 years, if they've shown anything, if you talk to any underwriter on the planet right now, everybody's ratios are running hot.
There's a risk.
Everybody's ratios are running hot, and a lot of underwriters are asking for injections of cash into their reinsurance companies, into these dealers' reinsurance companies. And I don't know that a lot of dealers realize that wait a second, I had to inject cash too? When this goes, wait, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And it's after COVID, it's supply and demand issues, like trying to find a 8L90 transmission or a 6L90 or a 6.2 or a 5.3, from GM, any of that stuff, it's been a battle, in the last 2 years. It's a bidding war to get it. So where you were paying, you might have been able to find an engine for $2,500. Now it's $6,000
easily sometimes. Yep.
So you take your lumps, and if you're not ready for it, and if you don't get the whole picture, it can get you in trouble. And again, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm not here to do that. You're just saying, dealers need to really,
be cautious. And you got to read into it.
Read into
it. Look, guys, I know we got towards the tail end of our conversation. I could easily do this with you guys a lot longer. This has been a lot of fun, guys. So thank you so much for taking the time. But before I let you go, for everybody out there watching and listening right now, who's would maybe like to continue parts of this conversation, or maybe even have some additional questions maybe popped up, what's the best way to connect with you guys and do so?
Good, Brave.
On our website, we have a dealer inquiry form. I'd say that's the best way, and the reason is because that goes directly to one individual who feels that and gets it right to our people. So that's honestly, that's like, it doesn't dump into a bin waiting to get checked. It gets pushed through. There's a dealer inquiry.
We have WeCare.
We have WeCare at ProGuard@WeCare.com.
That's an email address. That's
WeCare at ProGuardWarranty.com. So many. WeCare at ProGuardWarranty. Email us that way.
Yep.
We have a lot of ambitious people. They'll just easily get back to you as quick as possible. And we have a lot of new products coming online, which service multiple industries. So we want everybody to at least get a peek at them.
Absolutely.
I really wanted to talk more about
what's coming.
Definitely a follow-up.
It's coming. We would love to do it. We would love to do it.
I'm chomping here. I'm hungry, but
bring us back when it's like 75.
Yeah.
Not 105.
And our brains are working a little better.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Guys, thank you so much, man, for
taking
the time
Thank you.
to chat with me today. This has been a lot of fun. And for everybody out there watching and listening right now, we appreciate you. And thank you for your time. You guys have yourself an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.